Over the next 30 days, I'm gonna go through 300 LinkedIn profiles and optimize them.
What?
Well, maybe not 300, but we'll see who books time and has us do it.
Okay, I've been working like 3 jobs. Probably why I never see ya. Probably why I never have time for the fake friends that won't be ya. Been ballin', but it's looking like they took a time out. Okay, I'm working on a Wednesday, then up again the next day. So-and-so is popping, man. I skip him like he leg day.
Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
There's that Zoom chick. She's loud. So you've watched some of our videos. I definitely love that you like the style and you're getting some value out of it. And then I looked at your profile and I mean, you've got a good following and you're engaged on it. You said that you were using it all the time. Is there anything specifically you wanted kind of our 3 cents on from a profile standpoint, or using it, how to be more like efficient with it or grow faster? Like, what do you want to cover today?
Yeah, I'll tell you a couple of things that I've looked at. Like, for instance, if you scroll down a bit onto the experience, for some time, for like the last 4 to 6 months, I had actually no description of any of those companies.
Okay.
I'm not looking to get a job, so I'm not looking for recruiters to outreach to me, but doing something as unique as I do in the marketplace, I want the impressions on my profile. I want people to find me doing searches and, to be looking at what I'm doing and to get that impression. But I would say one of my objectives is to draw more eyes to what it is that we're doing.
The main thing here is to have these types of keywords for when somebody's searching. Things throughout your profile that would stand out talking about the types of logistics services that you're doing. As long as it's in your profile or in your job or in your title or up here in your headline, these are all things that can come back in a search. So that's one aspect of it, is that if people
are they equal value from a meta terms kind of what it's called,
so
meta tag symbol?
Yeah, so for job title would be the most value or company name. So
Okay.
So if this was you could change your title to
Omni, if it was,
yeah, if it was like marketing marketing for distribution, fulfillment, logistics, like if you put all that in your job title, then that would show up the most if somebody put that into a search.
nice. Okay.
So that's one way to do it. From your headline standpoint, this is a good sentence to have. So you basically have 2 options. You can change this from this sentence to just putting keyword phrases where it says like global logistics, like local transportation, fulfillment, 3PL, like whatever your main search themes would be from like a category standpoint. Putting those in this headline would be good, because when you go into the second phase of trying to grow your network, that's basically what people are going to see. By slightly changing this into more of like themes or phrases or search phrases, that'd be better off for you.
Okay, yeah, I like that. So like direct to consumer, B2C, F2C, like how I start off my summary there.
Yep.
Those are some of the terms that people are looking for too.
Yeah.
And then I also wanted to get your feedback on, the name dropping that I'm putting in. There are 100 different, large brands that we are working for daily. So I would love to leverage that. They're not our customers, but they are our customers' customers. And so, but I don't know how much would be overkill to put that in there, because it's not, it's an exhaustive, or there could be an exhaustive list there.
Yeah, so what I would do is I would pick, let's say, the top, 5 to 7 most recognizable, or that could provide you with the most value if you name drop. And I would spread it out in this section. I would change the sentence, and instead of putting them in a list of commas, I would use like a dash and then maybe a description, and then do a double return line so you get space, and then say, or if that's what you want to keep on there, and then just prioritize, and maybe is the most important to name drop. Put that up here and just explain, like we deliver, 6.3 million products weekly. Like just put those wow things in.
That's a great idea.
But I would break them all
Just a real
out.
short description.
Yeah, and just pick the top 5 most recognizable, and then I think that would get attention. You can use maybe either use a dash or a dash arrow, or grab some symbols. You can go in and put emojis next to it if you want, just to make it stand out. But just so that way when people click that drop down, they can it draws their eye from a UX standpoint directly to it. So you can write out the description for all that, and then just once you're done and you save it, jump back into your phone and edit it, and then just throw in maybe something that you find in your standard keyboard. Oh, and one thing with the profile, so when you're editing this headline, you're allowed a certain number of characters when you're editing on your desktop. But if you were to then go behind it and edit it from your mobile, you get an extra about 30 characters available. So it can make your description taller. But then if you go in and edit your profile after that at any point in time on desktop, you're going to get the error that your headline's too long. So just keep that in mind. If you ever edit your headline, or if you ever edit any of this section here on your profile or your picture or the headline, after you've already added the extra characters through mobile, then it'll error out. You'll have to delete it and then go back in behind on mobile and edit it again. Yeah, so I would say number one, what is your public profile settings look like? Because if third degree connections are coming, is it, do you have it set up to where it shows your picture and your full profile and your contact info and everything?
Ooh, that's a good idea. I don't know.
The number one thing is make sure that you've got, I didn't check to see if you do.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you've already done that.
It's unique.
And then go down under here to say like what your profile's public visibility, setting everything to show. Because if it's not, if it's just your connections or your network, and you get a third degree come in, they're gonna be like, this guy's profile sucks, right? Because they're only gonna see a certain amount of things. So I would say first thing, do that.
Okay, so all LinkedIn members or public?
So I've got it public in case somebody Google searches me, they can go direct to my LinkedIn profile. If somebody Google searches the company with your name, your profile come up. I mean, LinkedIn is so big, obviously, from an authority standpoint with SEO, a lot of times they're going to show up above a lot of other things. So especially with you, if you're using this as a tool and you're driving traffic to it, somebody may Google you and you want that to show up. So that's when you would put it as public.
Okay, yeah, I put it as public. And then what about this badge, public profile badge?
So a public profile badge is for you to insert on a website, or it's just HTML code. You can also put it in an email. So when you create the badge, you get a certain look, and it's just whether or not you're embedding it within the page. You can have different size, and then you can say whether or not it's like black or white type style, like light or dark. And so it'll show like a picture. It's almost like a little snippet.
I got it. Yeah, cool. That's cool.
So yeah, that's pretty cool to embed into things. But yeah, I would do that, and then also, so when people land, I would add some media here in your summary, whether it's something about one of the companies like these. I'd put those up there in your summary too, just to make it easier for people to click and to see it.
Yeah, just make a bunch of links. I'm thinking I'll just do success stories where it won't have the whole URL. It'll just say success stories.
Yeah, so then essentially when they come to your profile, they would see these, because they don't have to show more to see your links. I mean, they can, but then they can just get right into whatever it is that you have.
Any advice that you have there, regarding, focus, like if you're going to spend the time, spend it on X, Y, or Z?
If you're going to, so they've also made a couple of changes on LinkedIn to where, depending if people have turned it off or not, people will be notified when you post an article. So if you post something, your connections will...
Rather than just an update.
Right, so they'll get a notification on their mobile.
Notifications, not just in their feed.
Right. Yeah, so they'll actually, like my phone, I'll get a notification on my phone typically that'll say, Susie just posted an article about this, and it lights up the phone. That's the best way to do it.
going to try that today. I'll grab, because we have a lot of content that I've never shared.
The more frequently that you can post articles on LinkedIn, the higher authority you're going to get with LinkedIn, especially if it gets engagement. And then when people come to your profile, obviously it's going to be a lot different than if it shows you've got 416 articles versus 4, right? So people are going to look at that and they'll go through your articles, and that's where you can put in links back to websites. That's where you can do at the end of each article, hey, this is what you got going on, and it's like a little snippet preview. That's the one way you can get onto LinkedIn Voice and be considered, the top voices for logistics in 2019. That all comes from quantity of posts and engagement and views. So LinkedIn looks at all that frequency of posts, views, engagement, and if you're writing on there every day, or if you've got 200 articles up there over a year, but either way, you write something, people are going to get notified. Not every time and not every person, but they'll pick select people. And then I would change, if you wanted to, you could change your background image to something that's like logistics, distribution, or put, the company brand name or something like that. You could do something like that too, just to push branding even more.
Twitter is something I'm not using at all. When I share an update, I'll click the box to share on Twitter as well, but I literally don't even log in.
I mean, I think it depends on who you're trying to go after. In my opinion, Twitter's so noisy these days. You're not going to get most likely any engagement, or retweets, or drive any traffic. But it all comes down to who are you trying to go after. Certain demographics are more active than others on Twitter, but Twitter has turned just into this feed of, like, as soon as politics got involved and the president's on there, I mean, everybody's on Twitter just throwing up garbage. It's difficult to get through that noise into the right spots. We don't use it. I mean, we have one, but we don't. There's zero value that we get out of it. Like, you could take a picture of that Kickstarter thing and throw it up on Instagram and hashtag the crap out of it and put it into a story, or tag the company that's doing the Kickstarter, and get a lot more traction than throwing it up on Twitter.
Okay. So that's something that you guys provide as a service, right? If you could take me on as a client and walk me through that process, and then manage however we split up the campaign work.
Yeah, I mean, we do social campaigns all the time. We would do the creative behind it and build up the campaigns, and then manage the budget, set the budget, track performance, metrics, all that stuff. I'll take a look at the two brands, and then Kat will probably want to set up a call just to go through some of the things to figure out what we would want to do for the strategy. Then we can kind of just take it from there. All right, perfect. Well, thanks, Keelan, for the time, and we will talk to you soon. I appreciate it.
Likewise, Kyle. Thanks so much.
All right.
Take care.
Lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
You too,
Bye-bye.
Kyle. Thank you. Bye.
See, this is what happens when you give stuff away for free. This guy reached out to us and just said, hey, I love what you guys are doing. Wanted to see if I can get Kyle on the phone for like 20, 30 minutes to look at my profile and just answer some questions. Went through that. He's a great dude, good following. He's using LinkedIn the right way. And so he's a good connection to have. But could it possibly turn into business down the road? Possibly. But that's not the intention behind it. We're just trying to give as much value as possible. So what that has sparked because of this process that we just went through is now we're going to do something where on a weekly basis, where I'm going to send out something on LinkedIn, and I'm going to say, hey, you want us to review your profile? You want to jump on a quick 20-minute call? Here's a link, book some time. We're going to go through it. I'll tell you exactly what you need to change. We'll do as many as we can given the window of opportunity that we have with time, but we're going to look for that in the future to be posted on LinkedIn. You guys can book time, leave comments, things like that, and we'll just go through and help you guys out as much as possible. If you got value out of that, hit that like button. If you guys have questions or want me to do this for you, leave it in the comments below, and we will see you on the next one. Because I don't know if this is what it is.
Are you pushing out? Sure.
Yeah, as hard as I can. How long? We got to have like a timer.
I don't know.
This has only been like 15.
All right, well, I'll put another.
Let's just see if it works like this. No, that's not what it is.